Hi, good morning, people. Welcome back to my kitchen. I should not be in my kitchen today because I am not feeling my best. It feels like the cow has spent the whole night while I was asleep licking my head here, and I'm just not feeling my best. What I have learned in the past is that if you feel like I'm feeling today, that you should not cook and you should not bake. You should not actually come near your kitchen because things aren't going to work out very well. And now, on top of it all, I'm really going to mess with this recipe. So if you want to see a complete and total mess unfold before your eyes, then you are welcome to stay for this video. Otherwise, I suggest that you click out because I did not read the recipe when I chose it. Now I have got everything here in front of me. So this recipe I am going to make, and I am going to quadruple this recipe because it's basically only for 2 people. It is made in little teacups, and I've got guavas in abundance. To use 2 guavas today in this recipe is not going to make a dent in my guavas. And the whole reason for this is to just use up a little bit of the guavas in a different way because Amanda and myself and McDavid is already eaten out on stewed guavas. Okay, so let's go. And once again, my dogs are keeping me company in the kitchen. And they always sleep in the same order. My guava tree is producing guavas in abundance at this point in time. And this is the guavas that I'm going to have to work through after I have made this pudding recipe today. And like I said, to use only 2 guavas in this pudding recipe is not even going to make a dent in my guavas. So I am going to quadruple this recipe. I'm not going to show the recipe because I have now scribbled on it here. And it was pulled off the internet, so it's not nice to look at. It's a guava and coconut pudding, and it's a Woolworths recipe, and it was created by Jacques Erasmus. So I'm not taking any credit for this recipe, but to mess it up. So this is most probably going to turn out a huge mess, and it's not going to be his fault. I will read you as I show you the ingredients what the actual recipe requires, but from then on I'm going to just do my own thing. The recipe asks for 2 stewed guavas, 100 grams of sugar, 1 cup of water. So the 100 grams of sugar and the 1 cup of water is to stew the guavas in the syrup. So that's for stewing the guavas. I already stewed my guavas and I already have my syrup. Guess who? That's Puddles. Very distinctive call, duck call. Then it asks for 60 grams of soft butter, 125 grams of sugar. This is now for the actual pudding. 125 grams of self-raising flour. A quarter cup of milk. 2 free-range eggs. 40 grams of coconut, and a pinch of salt. These are the cooking instructions. This pudding is little individual pudding portions, and it is made in teacups. But I'm going to make mine in this dish, and I'm going to make Amanda's in that dish. So I made sure that the dish is deep because the teacup is relatively deep. Okay, so the 2 guavas, the 100 grams of sugar, and the 1 cup of water is for the poaching or the stewing of the guavas in the sugar syrup. Then the pudding starts here. So I must now cream the soft butter and the sugar together. It asks for 60 grams, so I'm going to use 240 grams of butter. And it asks for 125 grams of sugar. I don't think I'm going to put 500 grams of sugar in the pudding. I'm going to make it a little bit less. I don't want it too sweet. So there I am already messing around. But I think that's a good messing around. I think I'm going to put in 300 grams of sugar instead of 500 grams of sugar. Okay. Another little fiddle I'm going to put in, seeing that coconut is going to go into this recipe. And I chose this recipe because I thought the coconut and the guavas are going to make a good combination, sort of a tropical feel to the pudding. Just guavas is in our part of the world is a winter fruit. So I'm going to add this coconut oil. It's got a strong coconut flavor to it. Just to add a little bit of fat into the batter. And it is quite solidified. I'm just going to do a little. I think that's enough. I'm not doing an exact measurement, but it's almost 300 grams of sugar. My oven is preheating at 200 degrees Celsius. The original recipe asked for 125 grams of self-raising flour. So if I times it by 4, it's half a kilo, 500 grams. Yo, that was close. Yeah, can you believe that? That is how close I estimated 500 grams of self-raising flour. Now I'm chuffed with myself. So after you have creamed the sugar and the butter together, you're just going to add all the other ingredients to the creamed butter and sugar mix. So first, no, you know what I'm going to do? I'm first going to do the eggs and then cream them, and then I'm going to put the flour in. I'm going to do my pinch of salt. Pinch of salt. 1, 2, 3, 4 pinches of salt. Now I'm going to do the 8 eggs. I keep the shells because we feed the shells back to the ducks and the chickens and even the budgies and the ringneck for their extra calcium that they need. 1, 2, 3. Look at this funny egg. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. And I think I'm going to put the milk in as well. So it is a 1/4 cup of milk. So I'm going to put 1 cup of milk in. Once again, there's not really enough fat in this, but I have added the coconut oil, which should give me just a little bit of extra fat. 1 cup of milk. Mix this together. I suppose working with faux vegan meat and having to do always the dry ingredients separate and the wet ingredients separate and then mixing them together, that's stuck in my head. So I just decided to do it like this. Old habits die hard, they say. I'm going to add the flour now to the egg, sugar, and butter mixture. Is my bowl going to be enough? It is just going to make it. I must squeeze 160 grams of coconut in there still, so I'm just going to weigh that off quickly. Oh, it's quite a lot of coconut. Nice, yum yum. Just a tad more. Yeah, I think. And the coconut. There are some black dots in my coconut, which I don't know where that comes from because it is in a closed container in the fridge. I like what I see. I do. Taste. I did taste something that fell on the table, and it is delicious. The coconut, I think, with a guava combination is going to be an absolute winner, and I love the consistency. And the sugar is perfect. I think if I added that extra 200 grams of sugar, it would have been too much. Okay, just a quick last beat, because I don't like to beat self-raising flour too much. Then you beat all the rise out of the flour. You now divide the batter into your 4 cups. I'm going to divide it between my dish and Amanda's dish, or the dish that I'm going to take over to Amanda. Then you place the guavas in the batter mixture and you put it in the oven. Then when it comes out of the oven, you pour the syrup, the poaching syrup, over the pudding while it's still hot. So that is the method from here on. First, I'm going to pour the batter. Oh, it's like spongy. I think that must be the eggs. Very, very, very spongy. Shouldn't do that. Can't help myself. It's very, 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 very spongy. I often find when I buy in bulk bigger quantities than what you buy in the supermarket, if I go to Macro, for instance, then the sugar and the flour and this coconut, for instance, is not pure. You get little black specks in it. I could not make my ice cream with the bulk sugar that I bought because of the black dots, and the people will think that I'm dirty in my kitchen. And the same actually now happened with the coconut. But in any case, it is not for other people. It's just for me and Amanda and McDavid, so that's fine. Now, what I must do is I must now drop the guavas into the pudding. So here the trick is now going to come in, because 4 cups, teacups, bakes for 15 to 20 minutes. And now I have this, and I'm going to just have to keep my eye on it. Yeah, this is going to be very tricky to make sure that my pudding is actually baked before I take it out of the oven. So I think I'm going to start. So I'm going to keep it in at I think I'm going to keep it in for 45 minutes. It's going to have to be in the middle, Cyril. Two smaller ones can go in there. Trying to get the nice ones for Amanda's pudding. And I think maybe I must drop a big one there. No? There. Gonna do. Now that one is now out of place, but never mind. We will pretend that we're not going to see that. Okay, not bad. As you can see, I did not make much of a dent in my guavas, and there is a whole lot still coming today. And so what is going to happen then is when this comes out of the oven, you pour the syrup over, and then this pudding is then complete. Then it's just for the eating. What I'm now not sure about, what I'm not sure about is whether if I test it like this, it is going to give me, it's perfect. Oh, I'm so pleased, people. You've got no idea how pleased I am with this pudding today. I'm almost too sorry to put the syrup over, but the recipe says I must, so I'm going to. This is today's batch of guavas, so I'm going to use the fresh syrup. What is it? I'll make a mess. Okay, suppose that's enough. I think this bowl of mine was a little bit too small. It's running over with love. Love and deliciousness. Like that. I think it's enough now. Otherwise I'll make a soggy mess of it. Okay. And it is going to be delicious vanilla ice cream. Okay, let's see. Yeah. It is very nice. Very coconutty, very tropical. Quite delicious for a cold winter's day. Okay. What do you say, McDavid?
It's delicious.
What does it taste like to you?
Like the best thing that I've ever eaten.
No, you're a liar. But it's good.
Yeah, it's good.
It's good.
It's good.
Okay, I can make it again.
Definitely.
Okay. Okay, things turned out much better than what I expected. And if you are still with me at this point in the video, I want to thank you for watching. And I hope to see you in the next video. And if you have not done so yet, please press that subscribe button. It would mean so much to me. Have a great day. Goodbye.